What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Haas Talks Road Show, and really didn't have to go far this time. I know I say that a lot, but able to catch up with a driver that if you don't know, now you know, race fans. After this show, you're going to know this guy a lot better. Garrett Benson. Garrett, thanks for getting done early with maintenance to come talk to me.
Yep, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk to you. We finished up maintenance on both cars. We locked in the Outlaw and A-Class last night, so hopefully have a good run in the dash and maybe gain a spot or two, and hopefully have a good night.
So let's just dive right in here. I know we've had you on the show before with your dad, Nathan Benson. Folks know that name from Power Eye and all that good stuff over the years. Let's just dive into 2023 and where you're at right now. The season to start off with wasn't necessarily exactly what you wanted to do, but it seems like here as of late you've started to pick off wins and you've started to do some really great things. Kind of tell me about your season, where you're at right now as far as what you've accomplished. I know you've won some races at Southern Illinois Raceway in preparation of the High Banks Hustle, and then not necessarily what you wanted from the High Banks Hustle, but to come from 15th to 3rd there at that race is pretty special. So kind of tell me a roundabout way about your 2023s and so far.
We kicked off the season at the Outlaw Nationals here at Port and had a good finish. Didn't lock in on Saturday night and charged through the field, or didn't lock in on Friday night, charged through the field on Saturday, ended up 4th or 5th. So we were good there, and then we built a new car, gearing up for the hustle, and we wanted it to be the best that it could be, and we built it, and we ran a couple weekly shows at SIR, and it just wasn't what we wanted. The track was rough, and the balance wasn't very good, so we regrouped. We changed some stuff on a different chassis that we had sitting there that was identical to the one we were running, and we went to the prelude to the hustle, and it was really good. We unloaded with a good package, and throughout the night we just tweaked on a little things, getting the balance a little better, and we figured out some things with our gearing on the engine that improved the way the car drove and how I felt. So we knew that we had a good package going into the High Banks Hustle, and Friday night we started out good, we heat raced good. We were in one of the earlier heat races, so the track was kind of locked down, and we were able to salvage a good finish, and we started 6th in the qualifier, ended up 2nd. We were in the first qualifier, so first it was pretty hammered down, but the track widened out and was had some character, but it was really good, so we were able to pass and started 7th in the feature on Friday night and kind of put the anchor out. I wasn't driving very good. I just kind of got trapped on the bottom, and I needed to go to the top, and we had the car just a little bit too tight and for the track that we were racing on, but we regrouped for Saturday, and we knew we had to, it was going to be a lot harder to get in the A because, less spots in the qualifier and stuff like that. So we had heat raced good again. We won our heat race. That put us on the pole of the qualifier and ended up 2nd in that. So that put us 15th in the A. And on the long races, I feel like that's where I run the best. I got time to, run my race and get going, on the longer runs. So we were past some cars early and had a couple cautions, and we were in the top 10 in a couple, maybe 8 or 9 laps, and we had a caution, and then we got back going, and I was going through the field good, and we were about halfway, a little past halfway, and there was a caution, and I was in 3rd, and we were good. The track kind of moved around, and the guy in front of me moved down, and we were kind of got stalled out. If it would have stayed green, we think we could have got 2nd and maybe could have gave Johnny a run, but still a really good finish. With these big shows, we need to work on, I need to work on locking in. We have a good night. We start out good, heat race good, and we're in a position to lock in, and seems like I don't finish it off. The car's good, and everything's what I want, but, I just don't finish it off. So I've been trying to work on that, and last night we won the Outlaw feature, So we're locked into that, pull of the dash, and A-Class we got second. So Cole Roberts won, so glad he won. He's in a G-Force car, so G-Force 1-2 locked in. Excited for that, and maybe we can pick off a spot in the dash. And, I feel like, I like starting on the pole because I can control my own race. And, if I get a good start off of 4, I have a good launch down the straightaway, and I can, pretty well do whatever I want, because I got the position, So I like starting on the inside. Excited for Outlaw. Hopefully we can do good in that. Tough fields. Everybody's really good and really close, so you have to hit everything perfect.
Let's talk about something here, Garrett, because in your talking there, you're describing things that you sound like a veteran racer, like you've been doing this for 20 or 30 years. You're not that old. You're really new to the outlaw game of things, right? Like you ran junior sprints, you ran restrictor, you've won a championship with the Dirt 2 Media Now 600 series. You've done different things like that, but the outlaw kind of seems to be a new animal. Whenever you get into that car, knowing that you're up against some really stout competition, especially at the High Banks Hustle, I mean, you've got 93 other guys that are really top caliber drivers, from Hagopian and TJ Smith to Frank Flood and all those guys like that. Talk to me, like, what goes through your mind being a young driver, racing against those veterans?
I haven't raced Outlaw for very long, like you said, a year or two. So I know with our car is really good. So I know that, I'm just as equal as them. So I have advantages and disadvantages. So I just, I always try to keep on getting better and know that I can beat them. It's just a matter of time when I hit it right and the car's good. So everything's got to go together. So I just, I know that the car is going to be good. And with the Outlaw, you can adjust your wing and you got all those shock cables. So, throughout the race, you can make your car better, where some people, may not know what to do, or they do know what to do, but they just, it's not all working out good. So, I feel like I can really tune on my car to what line I want to run. And I feel like I can use that as an advantage, knowing what I do to the shocks or do what to the wing, I know what it's going to do and how it's going to affect me driving in the car and how the track is and everything.
From the get-go, you've been really hands-on in all of your race cars, from the junior sprint to now the Outlaw, and you pull your own maintenance and you do a lot of your own work. Don't get me wrong, like, your dad does help you to a certain extent. What is it that makes you want to do that? Like, you're not being forced to do that. You're really hands-on. And do you think that correlates to helping you whenever you're in the car, knowing how to describe it to your dad and how to talk to you? Because after that feature win last night in the Outlaw, your dad's down here asking you questions and you're like, yeah, I did one right click here, I did a click there, I didn't move the wing, I really want to move the wing in the A-Class car back, like just the lingo and everything else. What is it about all that just intrigues you and makes you want to do it?
I feel like if I know what the car's doing, what it takes to, work on it throughout the week in the shop, and then Dad and I can communicate throughout the night, how'd you feel in hot laps? What do we need here, there? What was good? What could have been better? And we can work together and, get it figured out. And I feel like I can use that to my advantage because, I know what we did to the shock and what's that going to do, or what we did to the tire pressure and size and everything. So I feel like we can work together and, we're better off in the long run because he's telling me what he sees and I'm telling him what I feel. So that can work together and, we can make things a lot better together.
How often do you guys butt heads? How often are you like, no, Dad, I'm telling you right now, the air pressure is too much. And he's like, no, we need to jack it up 15 more pounds. Like, does that happen very often? And do you make him cry like he makes you cry?
Not really. I mean, when I'm out on the track, I'm feeling what I feel, and he's seeing what, he sees from my car and what other people are doing. He sometimes, why'd you not go to the top? And I'll tell him what I feel, or why'd you run the bottom? And we can work together, and even, if we have different opinions on what it was like, we can work together and build off of that. In the next race, then he knows what I want to feel and I know what he wants to see, and we can work together and put it all together. And then in the next race, we're that better off. And then at the end of the race, he saw, well, I liked what you did there, and I liked how I can say how I liked what I felt there, and that can go together and just race after race, build our notes and build our setup so we can, be better every race and keep on building.
Do you feel like whenever you come to the racetrack like this and you're going and talking to other G-Force drivers, and you're even talking to other drivers of other chassis, because let's face it, like you're kind of a role model and a leader for a lot of kids your same age because they see what you're able to do. Do you feel that that helps you in the long run as far as like building just your overall everything that you do in the car and out of the car?
Yeah, I can talk to other guys and see what they're feeling, and I can watch what their car's doing and see what they say about that. Like Cole Roberts, he races here weekly quite a bit. So, each weekend, he'll typically call and tell us, oh, I did this, and that worked good or that didn't work. So we can, everybody, we're all racing at different tracks. We have a guy, Jalen Mills, out in Illinois, and he races at Wayne City and SIR. So we can all bounce ideas and work together, and we can build our package as a team.
Yeah, so even though you're competitors, whenever you get to the racetrack here, you're still, during the week, you're still bouncing ideas off and trying to grow the brand, because let's face it, G-Force Chassis is your brand and what you guys are building, along with DDI doing a lot of cool things there. Let's kind of talk about something that kind of frustrated me whenever I saw this, Garrett. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be honest here with you. But I saw you running a sprint car, and I knew it was just a matter of time before it happened. And let's just talk about the whole sprint car experience. How did it come about? Like, was it something that, like, you were like, Dad, like, look, we can get this car online for really cheap, or your dad was like, all right, it's time to make a move up now, old son. Like, what happened? How did that come about?
So, we were talking to some of our guys that used to race micros, and then they moved up to sprint cars, and Dad and I, my goal was to race sprint cars and, run at the Knoxville Nationals and run in World of Outlaws Championship and do stuff like that. So, some point I'm going to have to get in a sprint car. And we did a 305 Race Saver sprint car. We thought, the 305 would be great because I can feel the car. It's not, as fast as a 360. So I can feel the car, feel how bigger it is and how it, how I can race around other people and, learn. So, our goal is to run 15 to 20 305 races, and then, maybe, a year or two race 360 locally around our place, with ASCS a little bit, but I just, we want to run a good amount of 305 races to get, some seat time and get the car how I like it, and everything. So, it all kind of came about at the beginning of the year. We had Chase Porter's dad, Justin Porter, helped us out with a car and some few odds and ends. Sean Goodnow helped us out with different things. England Machine and Tool got us an injection, show and field headers, Mike Schure. Everybody's, it's came together in a couple of months, and we raced about a couple weeks ago, and we fired it off Saturday. I think it was Memorial Day weekend, and we fired it off Saturday, and we were like, because we were supposed to go out to Indiana and get it dynoed the next weekend and then race it that Sunday, and we were, we didn't have everything we needed, and we were like, man, it would be cool to run. Lake Ozark is where I ran at, and it's a big, wide track, so it'd be good, good practice for the first time, and we were like, we really want to go. So Sunday we loaded up and went out to Lake Ozark, and it was really good. I felt really comfortable. I didn't really race around any other cars, so I didn't know how that felt, but the size, it felt really good. We were really quick in hot laps, and we were leading our heat race, and the motor blew up. So we're getting that fixed. Hopefully have it back in a couple of months. If everything goes good this weekend, we're going out to California Speed Week Tuesday. So after that, we're going to take a little time off from the micro and get regrouped with everything, and maybe in a month, race the sprint car a couple of times before the end of the year.
Now, even before you ran the sprint car and did the whole build-out process, you were really hands-on and going and helping Riley Goodnow. The Goodnow family has done a lot with you. and you guys have done a lot with them. Like, it's kind of been a long time friendship. And so tell me about that, going to a sprint car race and being that involved in those big shows like they've been running.
It's really cool. I enjoy, working on, I enjoy the working side, not always driving, working with Riley, Dad and I, they are working with Riley and Sean, and they have Jody Rosenboom with them, and, just working all together with every buddy, is really cool because, I'm not driving, so I don't have that responsibility, but I have a different responsibility, cleaning the car, grooving tires and stuff like that. So it's a different side of things. So I really enjoy it, and going to, the outlaw shows, seeing all the other guys and competitors, and meeting new people is really cool, and I've enjoyed it a lot. Like this, we went out to Florida in January, February, and helped them for a couple of days at Volusia. Dad went out there for 2 or 3 weeks, and Mom and I flew out there for, about a weekend and helped them. And, going to the new, bigger sprint car tracks is really cool, and seeing stuff like that. So I've really enjoyed it, and looking forward to, getting to race the sprint car more and also helping Riley more. So we're supposed to help him at the Knoxville Nationals 360 and 410. So hopefully he can have a good run there, and I'm looking forward to that.
So for people that are watching this, they're going to be like, whoa, this kid is like wise beyond his years. For the viewers, let's just go ahead and make them go, wow, one more time. Tell everybody how old you are and what grade you are in school.
I'm 13 years old, and in a couple of months I'll be going into 8th grade.
So an 8th grader out here running sprint cars, learning up and down the road. If there's one thing that you could tell any race fan that hasn't been to Port City, that why do they need to come watch at Port City?
Tight track, high banked, close racing. No matter what the track is, slick, hooked up, big cushion on the wall or a bottom to run, it's always going to be exciting. And the features, we're racing in lap traffic after a couple of laps and just dicing through the field, and, it's super exciting. You watch people like Frank Flood, who's won here many of times, Chris Carroll, Jake Rosario, they're all racing well, and they're, they know how to get around this place, so they race each other hard, and, it's always put on great racing no matter what the circumstances of the track or the, the weather, whether it rained the night before or rained in the morning, or it's 100 degrees or, 30 degrees, it's always going to be good.
It's always going to be good. It's always going to be exciting. It's Garrett Benson on Haas Talks.
Performance Electronics, custom electronic solutions. From design to manufacturing, let us put your ideas in motion and become your company's full-service electronics manufacturing experts. Performance Electronics.